All right, thank you for staying with us. Joining us now is a seasoned professional in the subsectors of culture, tourism, information, and social development. With her flair for television production and presentation, effective and efficient information management, media relations, and investment promotions, she is also the former Director General, Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation. She will be taking us through the journey of her life, sterling career in both private and public sector. Welcome, Omotayo Omotosho. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you on the program.
Same here,
and
too.
Congratulations on being the latest grandma.
Not
I had to go there. Yeah, right.
I wish you same success and
Amen.
time.
Amen. It's because you're looking so elegant, you know,
Thank you.
calm, you know.
Monica.
One would say there is something about your uniqueness in dressing and all of it. Is it because you were a broadcaster, or what really is it about? You were a broadcaster. Just give us a history of how it all began.
Well, my very dear, it started after my youth corps, because I found myself posted to NTA Ibadan as a youth corper. And that had always been my ambition. And I never knew anyone at NYC, so I couldn't mastermind it. This was just God working. And that showed me something, that if you are prayerful and you believe in your Creator, He would order your steps. So I saw myself as a youth corper at NTA Ibadan, and there were so many of us. They did voice auditioning, so they selected about 4 at that time. There were about 15 of us. And then I asked myself, okay, they put me onto continuity. So I was a continuity announcer after scaling through the voice auditioning. So I said to myself, how do you want to dress? Because I knew that I'd always wanted to be a television broadcaster from the university.
Right.
And I'd been praying towards it, that if they could get me posted to NTA, because at that time, we don't have private television stations, my dear. We're just having NTA Ibadan, Radio Nigeria, some God knows how many years ago, 1986.
Yeah.
So I found myself at NTA, and you know NTA happened to be the first TV station in Africa. Many years ago, it used to be WNBC, WNBS. So going straight to your question, I asked myself, you must cut a niche for yourself. How do you want to be dressing on television? Now you're starting your career. Do you just want to go there with your T-shirt and a pair of jeans and do whatever you need to do? They didn't even allow that. There were some codes of ethics.
Yes.
Thank you. Codes of ethics and dress codes.
House style.
Say that again. So I said, okay, fine. They want us to promote the culture of Africa. They reiterated that. Let people know, even outside Nigeria, because NTA was transmitting all over the world at that time. So let them know where you come from, promote your culture, promote your image. Okay, I said, okay, fine. I went looking for Ankara, Adire, the things made in Nigeria. Then I asked myself, if you really want to promote your culture, would you just wear Adire without the headgear? It's supposed to be complete. So I quickly bought 1 or 2 scarves, stood in front of the mirror at home, tried maneuvering, and I said, oh, I prefer the style because it brings the shape. Thank you. Brings the shape of my face. There are different styles, but I wanted the one that would bring the shape of my face. So it got into that particular dimension, and I said, okay, I hope when you loosen this and you're on continuity again in 2 days, you'll be able to do that. Yeah. And believe you me, I came back from the studio, I tried it again, and
it worked.
Gradually got used to it. So that's where I got my niche from.
All right.
One other thing is, you said something like, oh, you have always wanted to be on television.
Yeah.
And I just want to reiterate the fact that it's your dominant thoughts. Yeah. And that was why it happened. Do you believe in that?
Well, I believe in that, but there are so many dominant thoughts that you have, and they don't come to reality.
Yeah.
So beyond that is that Creator. Everyone has a perfect destiny, and one's destiny is different from the other. So maybe being raised in a Christian home,
right.
I had that as well. And my role model, I must say that, my role model on television then was my beautiful big auntie, who is about 90 years old now, Auntie Anike Agbaje Williams, the very first television broadcaster in Africa.
Nice, nice.
So I would see her on television. I would see the way she
Be
does a
enamored.
presentation. So I saw her as a role model. So I was looking towards being like that.
Toby, you want to ask? Okay.
I'm just being struck by
You're couple smart.
I didn't think I
All right. As broadcasters, because recently I was reading on the experiences of female broadcasters, talking about some challenges they face, not being able to rise in the rank, and some being abused in the office and all of that. Abuse coming in different forms now. And I'm wondering if you had that type of challenge at the time.
Very good question. I must say it has always been on. It has always been on. If you're a pretty girl, you're smart, you dress well, you're eloquent in the way you talk, you have some confidence in yourself, you can easily get attracted to men. And then you now ask yourself, how many men can you date as a young lady?
Absolutely.
How many men can you date? So that's where value selection comes in. You're a young youth copper, you find yourself in a TV station and you want to excel, you have a role model you're looking up to, and you believe your getting there was also destined by your prayers and God, His grace and mercy. You don't have to date your boss to get to the top, because your boss would approach you, especially when you work late in the night till 12, newscasting, broadcasting. We're in the studio. At that time, we weren't doing 24 hours. But we will close the station at about 12 midnight. And we had vehicles that would take us back home. So you might find yourself with your boss, whether at night or afternoon or day, and the boss gives you a compliment anyway as a TV broadcaster. Oh, you look good. Oh, you know what I like about you? Your voice. I hear people tell me that all the time.
Yeah.
And I know where they're going when they repeat it. If you give somebody compliment once,
It's okay.
that's
It's all right.
but by the time they say it 2, 3 times, you ask yourself, okay, no, then.
But there's something you mentioned which is lacking at this time,
Tell me.
and that is mentoring, mentorship.
Yeah.
You have been hammering on you had mentors, but these days you do not find young people talking about mentoring or being mentors or mentored, mentees of certain persons. They rarely talk about these things. What do you think brought us to this level? Why are we lacking in that space?
Well, I must say because we choose to care less. One, we choose to care less, which is not healthy. And two, because maybe the young ones are not also reaching out to say, I want to learn from you.
You reached out to your mentor?
I reached out. My mentor was Auntie Anike Agbaje Williams, no other person.
You did
Much
reach out
older.
to her?
Yeah, because I met her through my uncle.
Okay.
I met her through my uncle, went visiting her, and we're just chatting. And I was a young lady, so I couldn't talk much. I just knelt down to greet her, 90 plus, that's my mother figure. Knelt down to greet her. I didn't even know I was going to broadcasting at that time. It was when she now said, oh, young lady, how are you? I said, I'm fine, ma. What would you like to do when you grow up? I was just about 12 years old then, or 13. I said, I'd like to be like you, because I watch her on TV. And I just said that in passing. And she said, oh, really? Oh, then you need to work hard, woman. Calling a 12-year-old woman, because she's very eloquent. And I knew what she meant, saying I've got to grow up fast. So when she said that, I said, if you're ready to mentor me, ma.
At 12?
At 12, I said that. If you're ready to teach me, I didn't use the word mentor.
Yeah, mentor is a
Too
new
big for
word.
12.
Yes.
I said teach, quote and unquote. If you're ready to teach me, ma. And I was so innocent and I meant it. And she laughed and said, oh, okay. But before I start teaching you, finish your education first.
Right.
Because I was 12. Then she told me what I needed to do. You need to get your very good A grades. You need to continue speaking well. I need to tell you that there's something about your voice that is trainable.
Yeah.
So she told me that. So because it's trainable, it will be easy for me to teach you. And then you need to go to university and study things that are related to broadcasting. And I quickly asked, what and what, ma? I know of English. That's what I said. I said, one could study English, theater, arts, and mass comm. And she said, no, not just that alone. Any social science course,
Yeah.
economics, psychology, sociology. So I chose her to mentor me.
Okay.
I didn't, and I must say that my association or my contact with her were just two times.
Oh,
Just 2 times. That time my uncle took me there, and another time when I went to the station to see her. Just those 2 times. But I made up my mind because all I needed to learn, she already told me.
right.
The stock in trade, the things I need to know.
Okay.
So I said, oh, okay, ma, I will continue briefing you. And believe you me, if you make up your mind, which buttresses the point you mentioned earlier, if you make up your mind to do something and you walk towards it prayerfully, you get yourself there. So it wasn't as if I had Auntie Anike mentoring me every quarter or every year. No, my contact with her were just 2 times in about 20 years. In about 20 years, but I made up my mind. And to buttress your point, yes, I saw a reason to mentor other people. When I started, and I saw myself on television, and people gave me encomiums, embraced me, I met Nkechi Okeshola. Nkechi is one of my mentors. I met my darling Aburo, Dayo Benjamin Lanier, who is a popular, celebrated master of ceremony now.
Yes.
Dayo never started as a TV broadcaster.
Really?
She never started, but she started as a master of ceremony. She's blessed with good gift
Very
of the
good
gab.
voice, yes.
Yeah, good gift of the gab and command of English. So she will meet me doing MC at one occasion, often a time presidential events at the villa. The State House is doing, what do you call it, big events. They're doing visits of presidents coming and all that. They call me. And often a time they paired me up with Iken and Dagoba. I remember the Chogam, the Commonwealth heads
Yes.
of government. That was the hallmark. And it had never been recorded in Nigeria, where we had all the heads of states and Queen of England. So they came, and I was MC with Iken and Dagoba. My Dayo was there, and she observed. And before then, she's been doing some good work. Now she's already a mentor to other people.
Interesting.
And I'm proud of her.
Interesting. Do you have another question?
Yeah, what I want to ask, you talked about harassment or whatever, and you were on the path to say, oh, because you're beautiful, you will get compliments, people will say things
How
to
did you handle it?
How did you
I didn't
handle
finish
it?
that.
And yes, you didn't finish that.
Because
And now
another question came.
Yeah, because now people want to know, young people, they really want to advance in their careers, but they're like afraid that if I say no to my senior, who is going to sign me up to the next level, the next thing is I won't get there.
Okay, I will take that from where you stopped, and a very good point. I must say that our younger ones must dress decently. You are addressed the way you dress. The way our younger ones dress these days is appalling, is embarrassing, inexplicable. You see them wearing dresses that they cannot even bend down to pick anything. At that time, we call it knee length. Now it's so short that you just wonder, is it the thighs they want to showcase or they want to dress? They wear a blouse that is showing half of their bodies, cleavages and all that. If a man sees that, what are you saying to the man?
Yes.
What are you saying?
Sexy.
So dress, exactly. Dress well. The way you dress will be the way you are addressed. I'm re-emphasizing that. You'll be addressed the way you present yourself. That is how you dress. I'm not saying you should dress like a, how would I put it now? Cover everything, even your neck and all. You don't have to. You could be stylish. I came in now, you gave me compliments.
Absolutely.
And you're well covered.
And I covered myself. So there's a way you can dress gracefully. That's the word.
That's the word, yes.
Gracefully. When you dress well and you are tenacious with the job assigned for you to do, you are not lazy.
Yeah.
You don't get to the studio late. You don't shun your assignments, and then you want favor from your boss. If you are tenacious, you are hardworking, and you dress well, and you comport yourself. Don't go half naked and tell your boss, oh, you look charming today. My boss, I love you. By the time you tell your boss, I love you, oh no, you are giving him...
It's a common signal.
So,
And normally, dressing well is a form of good manners.
God bless
Comfort.
you. We seem to have lost the manners these days. And I'm not blaming our children. I'm blaming we parents. I'm blaming we parents.
and I think that it's also for you to say that you blame the parents.
Yeah.
You know, so most times the younger generation are not as eloquent to say, because we see the errors that, you know, our parents had passed
Made.
down to us, but the culture does not put us in that position to tell them that. So I'm really, really encouraged by the fact that you're the one saying this. I mean, a grandma is saying this, right? Then I also did want to ask that in your work, as a broadcaster, I see you're very knowledgeable, you have so much to pass on. Are there trainings that you've anchored or that you've set up to pass on this knowledge that you have to the next generation?
Thank you. A good question. In actual fact, because of this, I set up a full-fledged training company some 6 years ago.
Awesome.
Yeah, which I call Wellstrings Consulting.
Wellstrings.
Yeah, and Wellstrings is solely for effective communication. When we were growing up and we were in the television industry, our Bible was Daniel Jones' dictionary.
Right. Yes.
Daniel Jones. I remember late Bodiala Lade.
Yes.
God bless his soul. He was
He mentored
my
me.
teacher. Yep. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
He was my big brother and my senior colleague in television. And you dare go to television and call a word like the Minister of Education. Hey,
How dare you?
Edu what? What are you eduing? Edu. Minister of Education. Individual. What are you eduing? Whatever you say is what people will say, so you've got to be correct.
Authority.
So we got teachers like that, and that encouraged me to also set up a training outfit. And really, to gladden your heart to know that it's not just broadcasters that I train. I train all those in the profession of public speaking.
Right.
Government
officials.
officials. We just finished some training a few months ago for the Nigerian police force on effective communication. How do you approach the people? A lot of people don't like the police stopping them because they feel it's wahala. But if police stops you with good courtesy, a beautiful smile, oh, how are you, madam? Can we see your particulars? We're just doing a random check, and the policeman is smiling. You driving, you're
Even if
comfortable.
I feel that even if he's not smiling, you can give him a smile to disarm him.
Exactly.
He will calm.
Exactly.
He will
It's vice
respond to you.
versa.
Yes, he will respond to you calmly, and then he can carry out his routine check, whatever it is. You know that you are not against the law, so it's fine. Just be responsible, and that's it. But then let's come home gradually, because home gradually.
We're coming home gradually.
Of time. You did a lot of work with the tourism sector, and for that you were given the MFR, title in Nigeria. And there's an incoming administration coming in, because there's been a lot of issues with regards to we not making a lot of noise. We're not doing enough with regards to the tourism sector, tapping the resources of our tourism sector like we see in other African countries and outside of Africa. What should the incoming administration be looking to do to improve on our tourism sector?
Thank you very much. I must say that where we are today is because we don't have continuity.
Right.
Continuity of good projects.
Yes.
With all the works that we did, which you confirmed, yes. If those that took over from the time we left, and they've had about 4 or 5 directors general now, not just one person, so I'm not talking of one. If they built on the ones we did, we would have gone far. But then, how do we go far? That's the question.
Yes.
We need to go far under this forthcoming dispensation by ensuring that we have a separate ministry to supervise culture, tourism, and the creative arts. In the developed economies, they don't model information ministry with culture, tourism, and creative arts.
Right.
They don't.
Right.
So that's the #1 key. In other climes, they even have Ministry of Culture and Tourism separate, Ministry of Arts separate. Ministry of Information separate. And I want to borrow a
But wouldn't that be costing the government a lot?
It will. So I'm not advocating for 3.
Right.
I'm advocating for 2.
Okay.
If we want very, very huge development to occur in this sector, if we want the huge growth all of us have been talking about, it cannot continue to be information, culture, and tourism. I'm sure the President Buhari did that to minimize cost. People say that. But we shouldn't look at cost alone. now that the new dispensation is about coming, for us to be able to achieve the dream of making tourism a foreign exchange earner.
Yes.
We need foreign exchange in Nigeria.
So we have a lot of things
We have
that
lots
can
of,
be,
that we can sell. We have a lot of tourism attractions.
Yes.
I use this opportunity to put it on record that I'll expect our president-elect, and by God's grace, will be sworn in a few weeks from now, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to have Ministry of Information and Strategy separate. The way he did it when he was governor of Lagos State, and he did a good job at that.
Excellent.
He did model information and culture and tourism. And then let us have Ministry of Culture, Tourism, and Creative Arts together. They are intertwined, so they don't need to be separated from culture, tourism, creative arts should be together, while information will be on its own, because information is mega. You are all information practitioners. When you communicate, you're in information. It is mega. Let information be, and information is key, because no matter how wonderful his jobs are when he gets there, no matter how proactive and how efficient the President Bola Tinubu becomes, if information is not on its own to herald and propagate and promote all he's doing, Nigerians will not know. So let information be on its own. And then culture, tourism, and creative arts. That's number one, talking of the agenda. The second one, the government must fund culture, tourism, and creative arts sector. If you don't fund it, you don't get it to fly. For instance, good example, Dubai just recently pumped in $550 billion. I was doing my research a few days ago. $550 billion into tourism promotion. You may say they have more money than Nigeria.
Yes.
Yes, they do. But how much? God bless you. They didn't start like that. It was a desert. It was a desert. So tourism must be a deliberate effort of both the government and the citizenry. And we won't leave it to the government alone. What we expect from the government, to go straight to the point, because I know time is of essence. One, we must create a separate ministry for culture, tourism, and creative arts, and a separate ministry for information. Asiwaju Tinubu could call it information and strategy, just the way he did in Lagos State, and he did it well. Number two, if another nation is pumping $550 billion, we must also fund tourism as government. Number three, we must put emphasis on funding tourism infrastructure and security.
Right.
Tourism infrastructure and security. When I talk of tourism infrastructure, I'm talking of portable roads, accessible roads to the tourism sites, funding tourism by assisting the ATA. We have the, what do you call it, tour operators. We have the travel agencies. They are not financially empowered. And these are the people that should draw package tours for visitors when they come. What stops the government from giving them an aid? We call that more like a grant to get it started in a big way. And then security. We must get security right. We must get it right. Anybody that wants to come to Nigeria would ask himself, am I safe? Would I go back hale and hearty? So security, we must get it. And then we must have a national carrier. It's been talked about for so long. There was a time I also spoke with our aviation minister, Hadi Sirika. And he said, oh, they're working on something like that.
They're working on it.
I really need to see him now to know how far.
He said it will be available before this government's time leaves.
Exactly. We all know that as TV broadcasters. And he's a man of his word. So I need to know what is wrong, what is going on. Why haven't we seen this national carrier? Because it's important. Do you know how much you pay to go to Dubai now? To go to Dubai, you got to look for about 1-point-something million. And whereas it used to be about 250,000. If we had our own national carrier, it's going to promote tourism, inbound and outbound. And then we need to also develop domestic tourism. We need to round up now.
Quickly,
We need to develop domestic tourism. And one other thing, all the international airlines flying to Nigeria, they're not happy with us. Because Nigeria government is not giving them the chance to repatriate their funds. And that's why, what's the popular one that, Emirates. Emirates is no longer flying. And some other airlines will say they won't fly anymore. And so the ticket rate has gone up. That is averse to tourism. That's not encouraging tourism. We must get it right. And I'm so happy that we have a president-elect now that did so well in the field of tourism when he was governor. Because
right.
we worked with him at
I
NTDC.
believe Nigerians are looking forward to what he will do
Yes.
in that sector.
Yes, we're all looking forward to that. Thank you.
All right, we have to wrap up our conversation here now because our time is up. There's so much to talk about. Unfortunately, we can't
No
take
more
much.
time.
Yes. Omotayo Omotosho, we must thank you for gracing us with your presence on the show this morning. But then we must let our viewers know that on our Ofcom platform, we will be going live to Westminster Abbey to bring them up to speed with the coronation of Charles III, that's King Charles III, and his wife Camilla as King and Queen of the United Kingdom and the other Commonwealth realms. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. On behalf of the ladies, we are wishing our viewers a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and bye.
Bye.
Bye.